If you're watching this video wondering if you should get a Steam Deck, I'm going to give you the quick answer, and it's yes. Go online right now, get a reservation, and hopefully in a couple months, you'll have the Steam Deck in your hands. Now, I'm not going to cover all the technical specs of the Steam Deck in this video, but I'm going to show you what I love, some of the things you need to keep in mind, and just what it looks like and all the different features and things that I've found while playing over the past couple months. Now, what I love primarily about the Steam Deck is the number of games that you can play. Almost all of the games you have on Steam, you can play on the Steam Deck. We're talking AAA games where the Switch, as much as I love it, it's portable, but it's just to those Nintendo IPs and other games that can be ported over. But we're talking about HD quality games on the Steam Deck, and you can take it anywhere. Now, before I go into a lot of the things I love about the Steam Deck, you need to keep in mind that these Steam games have incredibly large file sizes, and they're not downscaled for the Steam Deck to where you may not need all of the different features and things you have on your PC, but those file sizes are still going to download on your Steam Deck. So when you're looking at the Steam Deck you want to get, there's a 64 gigabyte, 256 gigabyte, or the 512. And if you get the 64, there's a lot of games you're not going to be able to play right off the bat. You're going to need a large micro SD, like 500 gigabyte, terabyte, I would recommend. I got the 256 gigabyte, and most of the AAA games do download on there. You have 100 gigabyte games like Mass Effect, Legendary Edition. But one of my favorite games, Ark Survival Evolved, 209 gigabytes to download. I can't actually play it just on my solid state drive on my Steam Deck because it requires 209 gigabytes, but there's a lot of space on the solid state drive that's needed for updates and other things a part of the Steam Deck. So I actually couldn't get all the mods, and I'm trying to jump into an unofficial server. So be cautious when you're getting a reservation on what you're going to be using it for and the size you need. Then again, you can always buy a large micro SD. Now, right out of the gate, it launches you into a Steam interface, and it's fantastic. It shows you the Steam store, it shows you all the different games you can download, and it specifically shows you what games are great on the Steam Deck, which is awesome because you can see game compatibility with what games are verified that can work on the Steam Deck, but don't let that deter you from playing the games you want to play. There are check marks, which means it's verified. There are exclamation points, which means there's some things that could be potentially wrong, and then the games that are unsupported. Almost all of these games you can still download and play. Some of the ones that aren't completely verified for great on Steam have minor issues where you have to use an on-screen keyboard, which it's a touchscreen, and you can pull up the keyboard on screen to type things in. It works just fine, so still play those games. There are some unsupported games that you can still play, but it's a challenge to do with the Steam controller. And that's where you're going to want to Bluetooth like a mouse, a keyboard, or a different controller. And the controller itself is, honestly, it fits great in my hand. It's larger than I was expecting, which I love because you can see the games crystal clear. And they have trackpads on the front with really impressive haptic feedback. And you can even modify that haptic feedback in the settings of the Steam Deck. When you're clicking on the Steam button on the Steam Deck, you can go into your settings. You can add different Bluetooth devices. You can Bluetooth headsets, mouse, keyboard, controller. I mean, anything that can be Bluetooth, really. And you can go into even deeper settings on your Steam Deck. And on the right side of the Steam Deck, there's a quick menu, which you can pull up to quickly, unlink, change the audio, unlink Bluetooth. And you can use that to even modify the performance of the Steam Deck. You can change the frame rate. You can change settings if you're running into a really laggy game. You can lower the quality just so it runs more fluid. I haven't had that issue yet, so I haven't really had to make any changes there. And you can overlay your performance settings so you can kind of see the strain you're putting on your CPU or the GPU. And I gotta say, it looks incredible. I've tested multiple games on there, from low quality games like Chrono Trigger to games like No Man's Sky or Mass Effect, and they are beautiful and they run really well. I will say the fan does get a little loud. It doesn't bother me one bit. I'm usually having Bluetooth headphones plugged in and I'm just playing with noise canceling anyway. The fact that it's so portable and I can play anywhere I want to go, assuming I don't need Wi-Fi, and the games just look so good for having portable computer. It's literally a mini PC. And another thing that's great about this is that they don't openly advertise this, but you don't need to just do Steam on there. You can download other game launchers like Origin to launch and play other games using your Steam Deck. It is just a mini PC that you can modify how you want. They even have a desktop view, which acts just like a PC. You can add different video files, music files on there. You can search the internet. You treat it and act as if it's just like a mini computer. And if you set it up to a larger monitor and pair a mouse and keyboard to it, you literally can play around with it just like a computer. There are knockoff companies that have been doing this for a while, building these portable PCs, but they're so expensive, and the Steam Deck makes it more affordable for anyone to get, and it's really impressive, the specs that it has. I've been thoroughly impressed. It's honestly one of my favorite devices that I have, because often I can't just sit down in a specific room and play some of the games I love to play. I'm usually moving about or lying in my bed about to go to sleep, where I can just pull open the Steam Deck very quickly, launch into a game, and consume the next few hours of my life, which sometimes happens. But it's worth it, and I highly recommend getting the Steam Deck. They really thought of everything. They even mapped several buttons onto the back so that you can play and map features those buttons, even if you're trying to play competitive games where you don't want to move your thumb off the joysticks. It's really an incredible device. So stop watching this video, go get a reservation, go buy it, go play it, go try it out, ask a friend, ask everyone if they have it. That's all I got for you today. Thanks for tuning in, and go buy a Steam Deck.